Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to the May 9th regular board meeting of the Sunshine Coast Regional District. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 1:05 p.m. and acknowledge that the Sunshine Coast Regional District is within the territory of the Seashelt and Squamish First Nations. The first order of business is the adoption of the agenda. We have an agenda before us. Are there any additions to the agenda? Yes, Director White.
I'll move adoption with the exception of directors' reports based on the conversation I heard this morning. People felt they reported sufficiently last time.
Do we have a seconder for that? Sure. Yes, we do. Any discussion? No? Yeah, you bunch of... Okay, all in favor? Getting out of work, you guys. Thank you. The next item is the minutes, and it's the regular board meeting minutes of April 25th, 2024, which is Annex A, pages 4 to 15. Directors, are there any errors or omissions? Hearing none, a motion to adopt the minutes. Yes, I see motion made, seconded. Any discussion? No? All those in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Okay, we're now down to presentations and delegations. It's item 3, and we have Chief Gary Feschuk and Catherine Coyne. Yes? SWEA Reconciliation Movement. Are you guys all ready to go? Did I get it right?
The last person who showed up late to our meeting was transferred to Alaska.
Thank you.
No, Itaquano, Messiah, Akasta, Hakanukton Squish. I just want to introduce you in my ancestral names. I carry my great-grandfather's name and my great-great-grandfather's name, who are hereditary chiefs for our family. So I'm the hereditary chief for our family. And we're from the Tawonk, from Narrows Inlet to Roberts Creek to Seashelt. And today I come with an invitation and a gift. I want to give you the gift first.
Thank you very much. I'm honored.
And it has the CIA Days. It actually has the dialogue on there. Our motto for CIA Days this year. You can read it out.
I would like to read out what's on the feather. We can't change what happened, but we can change the way we see. Thank you. It's very nice.
And I want to, first of all, I want to thank you for accepting our invitation to come and do a presentation. And I'm honored to be able to sit before the board. I mean, I sat in that seat for many years. I don't miss it. But I just want to say I come to give you a gift, to thank you for walking with CIA for these number of years. I think CIA has been going for about 7 years now. And what we do is that CIA, the first thing CIA does is they bring awareness out to all the community and different organizations on what happened in those schools. And we bring awareness without shame, blame, or pointing fingers. We just want you to be aware of what happened in those schools. Because before we can have true reconciliation, the truths have to be told. And CIA has been doing that for a number of years now. And I really thank the people who, after we do our presentations, to see it in their heart that they're going to walk with our survivors and hold them up. And so there's a number of events that are coming up, because what happened in those schools should never have happened. And we should never forget what happened in those schools, so to make sure that never happens again. And we can't lose fact of the history when all the hidden truths have risen to the surface now. We can't forget what Canada did to our most vulnerable people, our innocent children. And to me, when you add up all the stories, because I was able to travel right across Canada when we had our court case going because it was court ordered. We had to bring the message out to see how many nations would join us. And so we had 325 nations across Canada who joined our class action that we won last year. And if you listen to all the stories, every story is similar to what happened in every First Nations community. And with that, moving forward with CIA, we have a number of events that are coming up. CIA Days is going to be kicked off on June 21st, National Aboriginal Day, First Nations Day, and it'll go right to July 1st. And I have a couple of events coming up, and I wanted to invite to see if the board wanted to send a few reps to come and witness these ceremonies that are coming up. May 28th, 29th, right? May 29th is the first ceremony at 3 o'clock behind the House of Clans. We will have the reconciliation pole in the parking lot. It'll be covered. And we're going to be doing an awakening ceremony on the pole to awaken the pole. We are using a family's ceremony that we're supposed to be asking the elder of the family, Barbara Higgins, before we ever were able to have that meeting with her. She passed away. So her daughter was very honored that we're going to be allowed to use their ceremony to awaken the pole. And that'll take place on May the 29th at 3 p.m. And then on May 30th, there'll be another ceremony in the same place behind the House of Clans. And both events begin at 3 o'clock. And the second ceremony is going to be the sacred mask ceremony to put a blessing on the pole before it's raised into place. And if you wanted to come, send a couple of reps to that event, we'd be honored to have you as guests. And if you come to that ceremony, you're very blessed because not very many people get to see the ceremony. It's so sacred. And there's only one condition, that if you come to that ceremony, there's no recordings and there's no pictures to be taken. That's how sacred that ceremony is. And then on June 23rd, or June the 8th, we're having a ceremony in the Longhouse. And this is why I wanted to come and thank the directors and all the residents of the Sunshine Coast who helped us raise money to make regalia for all of our survivors. And there'll be family members standing in for survivors who passed on with their trauma intact. And they'll be standing in for them on that day. And the regalia has been being made for the last 2 years. So the ceremony is on June the 8th in our Longhouse. I don't have a time yet, but there'll be a special invitation coming out to the board with a time once it's finalized. And we're gonna have all of our survivors and family members standing in for survivors in the Longhouse. And on that day, we're gonna give them their identity back that was stolen from them in the residential school. And then on June 23rd, this is open to the greater community and to all of our local government officials to come and witness the unveiling of the reconciliation pole. It will unveil the pole on that day, and it'll be standing behind the House of Clans. It'll be standing on the same spot that the school building was, the classrooms were for the residential school. And after we unveil it, we're going to have our youth are going to dance on the same spot that the churches try to kill and Canada tried to kill our culture. And this history is recorded in our documents that when the school opened, they gathered all of our regalia, all of our masks, all of our hats, all of our drums, and all of our rattles, and they put it into the field right by where the pole is being unveiled. They piled them into the field, and they burnt them right in front of our people. And they told our people that we were worshiping the devil. And so, to me, there's a wave of change happening in our community, and I'm going to be honored when our youth are going to show our survivors and our elders that our culture is only sleeping, and they're going to be the first people to dance on the same spot that they tried to kill it. And on June 22nd, we have one of the first CIA events in our community hall that Echo Alec will be showing her film, The Awakening, that has won some awards across Canada. Then after the film, she'll be doing a short workshop. And then right after that, she'll be performing for the community along with Catherine Denham. And on June 24th, we have Chief Robert Joseph, who is one of the key people responsible for putting the 94 calls to action in the Truth and Reconciliation document. And he was also instrumental in starting the reconciliation movement. He coordinated the first walk in Vancouver. I can't remember how many years ago it was, but he thought he was going to get 2,000 people. He had 50,000 people join him in his walk in Vancouver, and he has written a book on reconciliation, and he's coming on the 24th to do a book reading to all the community, and that's why we're sending out this invitation. If you can make it, that'll be great. But there's a number of events that are going to be happening from June 21st to July 1st when we finish with the parade. And we're even going to have a few of our bannock makers are going to have a day of bannock making where the community can come and buy bannock off of our bannock makers. And on June 21st, we have one of my relatives is coming with his powwow group, and they're going to perform at the stage in Hackett's Park on June 21st. And they do their own powwow dancing. They can only do it on the 21st because after that, those dancers follow the powwow trail across Canada. So these are the events that are coming. Is there anything else I forgot? And I just wanted to let you know that CIA Days is being noticed across Canada now. And I want to thank the District of Sechelt for joining the Sechelt Nation and CIA to do these CIA Days. And they're taking notice and they want to know how we did it. And even the universities want to come and do research on how we put that together. But to me, it's about creating partnerships, friendships, sharing our culture, and making sure that whatever happened to our children will never happen again. Thank you. No much. And I'm open for questions now.
Thank you very much. It's an amazingly busy schedule. Holy smokes.
And I forgot one thing. I'm inviting the board, if your different areas want to be involved in CIA Days next year, if you have any ideas how you like CIA to happen in your area, to please have some dialogue with CIA now or amongst yourselves before you come to CIA and see how we can work together.
If I can just add to that, the District of Sechelt has, for the first 2 years of CIA, has played an instrumental role in helping us coordinate. They raised some funds, and we did, and we just made it happen. But CIA and CIA Days is for the whole Sechelt SWIA, and you represent the entire SWIA. And I know when we met with Gibson's Town Council, the question came up of whether Gibsons would like to, already some organizations there do things individually, but whether as municipalities, the other municipal areas, as Gary said, might like to do something. And this year, it's easy enough to say, to call the person with the District of Sechelt who's coordinating these and say, we want to sponsor an event or, whatever it might be, and we can support it for this year so that you're recognized and there's work being done in your particular communities as well.
Sorry, I was busy writing all this down. It's a lot of stuff. I'd just like to acknowledge all the work that Chief Veschuk has done. I've known him for quite a while, and he's been so dedicated in bringing our community together. It's just awesome. Can't thank you enough for that.
No, I just wanted to say thank you too. I really want to thank the community for really supporting the work that we're doing. I mean, the first walk that we had 1,000 people. Last year we had 4,000 people on our walk. And it's growing, like the circle is growing bigger. And CI, was given to our organization by the elders. CI means family. And so once you join CIA, you become part of our bigger family.
Thank you.
Gary joked earlier about, you know, it doesn't matter that we started because we're on the clock. I just want to underline that Gary is not on the clock. He's doing this all day, most days, and all from his heart.
Yes, and he's got his son working with him now, helping. It's really great to see, I'll tell you. Directors, anybody have any comments? Oh, okay, I see some hands. Director Bax?
First of all, thank you, Chief Feschuk, for coming to present to us. And thank you for the information that you've given to us. It's really wonderful to have. I noticed that we have a really involved two-page spread from schedule from last year's Suiaya Days. My question is, when do you expect to have a similar publication for this year's Suiaya Days published, so we can have hard copies of this?
Great question. We will have a general outline by the time our next publication goes to print around the beginning of June. But the details of it will be in the Coast Reporter closer to the start of CIA Days with where to register, et cetera. Gary mentioned the main key events, but there is a lot of, we've almost doubled the walks that Talese Tours will do, and we've got a lot of different things that are happening throughout the week. There's a Métis festival, there's, you know, a range of different smaller events that people will want to hear about, and it'll be on the district webpage. I think if you want it on your web pages, we can arrange that. It'll be on our webpage, and it'll be in the Coast Reporter when we get down to the details of exactly what time people should show up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Bax. Director Gabius?
Thank you, Chair, and through you, I just wanted to thank our delegation for coming in person to invite us. It means a lot that you're here. You could have just sent us an email, but you came, and it's really nice to see you. And it's wonderful, all the work that you're doing, and I really appreciate you extending a hand so often. I mean, there was the march this past weekend that was so powerful and so beautiful, and it was so well done and very impactful. So thank you for extending a hand and opening your heart and inviting us. It's very appreciated.
Any of the directors? Well, thank you very much for the invitation. I'm pretty sure all of the directors, if they're going to be available, will be coming. And I did attend an event at the Longhouse, and I was very honored to be invited. And we need to reconcile. And it's hard to hear about what Canada did. It's kind of shameful. It's really shameful. But hopefully we can work together to get over that, move forward. I'd like to take a 5-minute break, and then we'll get started after that. And anybody that would like to chat with Gary, we can take this opportunity. Okay. Thank you. Welcome back to the regular board meeting of Thursday, May 9th, 2024. We're now moving on to reports, which is Annex B, pages 16 to 19. And we have Committee of the Whole recommendations numbers 1 to 4 and 6 to 11 of April 25th, 2024. Recommendation number 9's been previously adopted. Number 5, yeah. Before we adopt as a block, directors, would you like to pull any? Seeing none, can I have a motion to adopt? Yes. Thank you. See the motion made and seconded. Any discussion? No? I'll call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Thank you. We're now moving on to item number 5 on our agenda, and it's a request for quotation number 2421001, command vehicles for Gibsons and District and Roberts Creek Fire Departments. I believe we have Chief Michaels and Chief Higgins here to introduce that for us. So, well, we have Chief Michaels and GM Hall.
Thank you. We're just trying to retrieve Chief Higgins here. What you've got in front of you is a ward report for some command vehicles. I'm happy to take any questions on the report.
Now that's a very fast introduction. Thank you. Directors, do we have any questions? Well, you must have questions. They come all the way here to talk with us. Gee, that's too easy. So can, no. Oh. Okay.
So
Director Bax.
my question is, this is a couple of pickup trucks. Are they similar to what is known in the Roberts Creek Fire Department as Car 1? And for those of you that aren't in the Roberts Creek Fire Department, it's a heavy-duty pickup with a pull-out tray on the back that can carry all kinds of different equipment, as well as it has a lot of first. It'll have an AED on board, and it's used to service. Often used for servicing an incident, running back and forth, as well as a first responder vehicle for the fire chief. Is that what we're getting?
Yes,
Would you like the short or long answer?
yes, please.
Short answer is yes. But the longer answer is a command vehicle is an important part of the fire department fleet. It's a clean, quiet place where mobile radios and command decisions can be made. The vehicle is upfitted with lights and sirens for quick response to incidents, and an effort was made to ensure a well-rounded support vehicle was selected, as the use can vary from fire inspections and investigations or acting as a duty officer vehicle for fire department officers. The vehicle is capable of responding to incidents on unpaved roads, in the snow, and can tow our hazardous material response trailer and structure protection equipment.
Thank you. That explains the price on this thing. It seems a good dollar. So who would like to make that motion on page 20? Yes, Director Bax?
Yeah, I move the recommendations as they appear on page 20.
I see we have a seconder, Director Stanford.
It says weighted voting, all directors.
It's weighted voting, all directors. So I shall call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Thank you. Now what do we got? Oh, we've done that one. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. So we're on to Annex D. Just hang on a sec while I get my self-organized here. Okay. Annex D, Water System Modeling Engineering Services Contract Amendment Number 7. Yes, Jan Rosenboom.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to introduce this report. GeoAdvice has been supporting the SRD since 2023 on all kind of water modeling analysis, including related to fire flow. As part of the 2024 budget process, the board approved several components related to fire flow and additional budget. And this is the first of multiple contract amendments to our contract with GeoAdvice to actually get some of that work completed. And the original contract with GeoAdvice allowed for further related work to be added to the scope of the project. So scope of the contract. So that's why, while this is a newly approved project by the board, we can add it to our current contract with GeoAdvice, which not only expedites the time frame for us to start this work, but also continuation of expertise. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Toth.
Thank you, Chair. Makes a ton of sense. We've already got these guys doing work for us on other fronts, and if we're able to add it to the contract with them, that's great. I don't have any questions. I'd like to move the recommendations on page 22 as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Yes, Director Gabius. Any further discussions? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Thank you. Got to flip pages here. Item number 7, which is Annex E, pages 25 to 34. We're on to communications. And it's a petition to restore Vine Creek Bridge. Yes, I do know that this is work underway. I was wondering if GM Gagnon could actually give us an update on this?
Thank you, Chair. So just a bit of background. So the SCRD operates the Vinebrook Bridge as part of the Section 57 partnership agreement that we have with the province, Recreation Sites and Trails BC, for the Sun Coaster Trail. And the bridge is located near the Malaspina substation in Pender Harbor. It is a single access point over a very large and steep creek, and it was built about, 25 plus years ago by volunteers. It's 18 meters long by 1.5 meters wide, and it's built out of Douglas fir. So we had a condition assessment of the bridge in 2017 as part of our bridge assessment program, and it was rated as in critical need of replacement at that point in time. We continued to do annual inspections, and when the province land manager came out in 2022, they required us to immediately close it due to the condition, and so the bridge was closed in November of 2022. In 2023, we included some initial planning for this project in the park's capital budget. So there is money set aside to do some planning and design for the bridge. Unfortunately, that work didn't start in 2023 due to some unexpected staff absences and competing priorities, but the work has been well underway. The RFP is almost ready for issue. We anticipate it to be out prior to the end of this quarter. And that design will give us a better indication of replacement costs and such, which will be brought back for consideration at that point in time. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Director Bax?
So, being built 25 years ago by volunteers, I was wondering, can you tell me what's changed since then, Mr. Chair? I just glanced that way. I glanced. Can you tell me what's changed in 25 years that we can't ask volunteers to replace this bridge?
I think I would like GM Gagnon to answer that one. I believe it's got something to do with an insurance, and now we're responsible, but anyways.
Yeah, I would suggest the world's changed a lot in 25 years in terms of liability and requirements and sign-offs and permits, and just even the world of engineering and the requirement for proper engineered sign-off. So I'm not saying that there can't be volunteer involvement. We just haven't even crossed that bridge, pun intended. We're just trying to get together the design. I think the important part is that what we need to look at, as we've talked about as an organization, is that resiliency and longevity and climate adaptation is the materials that the bridges are built out of and how we can install and design our assets to have as much longevity as possible. So anyways, we're just in the design phase in terms of understanding what we would need. And then once we get to actual consideration for construction is when we can talk about what our options are. I will note that oftentimes, depending on how complex a construction project is, the use of volunteers can often impact that and often can have impact on timing and trying to coordinate your contractors. So depending on the complexity of the project and what the part of the project is that volunteers want to be a part of, that often needs to be considered as well. But I would suggest we're not even in that stage at this point. We're just trying to understand what we need to replace it with. Thank you.
Yes, and it's actually quite a long bridge. It's not just a little ramp over a creek.
Thank you, Chair. It's 60 feet or 18 meters long, so a very large spanning bridge.
Yes. Directors, any other questions? Sorry? No more questions? Okay, so I think we will just move on, and thank you very much for that update. Everything's actually in hand. Things are going good. Like to have that bridge open, but it takes time now. We got so many regulations we have to meet. I was talking to some local people that had built paths in the past, and you know, they were chopping logs and making them flat, and that was good. But they're scared to go back now because the world has changed so much that you end up being responsible for it. So responsibility costs. Thank you. So we'll move on to Annex F, page 35. It's the PCC Beaver's 50th birthday party. Director Toth.
Thank you, Chair. Just before I get volunteered for this, because I do have an extensive history with scouting, both here on the Sunshine Coast and in Vancouver, I'm already going to be attending this representing the District of Sechelt. So I would encourage another member of the board who maybe doesn't know as much about scouting to volunteer, and we can carpool together for this great event.
Yes, Director Gabius.
If I can get a ride, I could go. I'd be interested. Carpool.
Sorry, I missed that. Did you what?
I'm volunteering.
Oh,
Conditional on a ride, yes.
Alton. Yes, Director Bax.
I may attend as well. But I'm going to look at my schedule and we'll talk. Okay?
Well, one of you two work out.
We could all go.
As long as you're paying your own way, I'm okay, but no. Okay, well, thank you. And the offer of Director Toth to drive is undoubtedly driving this volunteerism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That one's settled. We'll move on to item number 9. We're into bylaws already. So it's page 36 and 37. Corporate Officer, would you introduce this for us?
Thank you, Chair. There is a cover report. Essentially, this is a housekeeping amendment to update our bylaw to reflect the new board meeting time, and we took the opportunity to make that section a little more generic in the event we want to change the meeting time. So the appropriate notice was published in the newspaper, and it's just before you for consideration.
Thank you. Directors, do you have any questions?
Move the recommendation.
Director Toth moved the recommendations on page 36. Do I have a seconder? Yes. Thank you. Director McMahon, any further discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? That passes. I'd like a motion to receive all reports and communications, please. Director Toth, seconded by Director McMahon. All those in favor? That passes. Okay, so now we're into,
We have to actually give the bylaw its readings.
oh, we do. We've got past that, so now we have to give the bylaw its readings. So it's Sunshine Coast Regional District Board Procedures Amendment Bylaw number 717.4 of 2024. Can I have a motion for first, second, and third readings? Director Toth and Director Bax, any discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? That passes. We're now on to Annex H, page 38 and 39. Corporate Officer, do you have any comments on number 10?
Thank you,
Annex
Chair.
H.
Yes, so again, this is somewhat of a housekeeping. It's really following on the board direction to ensure that we implement the MCD guidelines within bylaw 422 to align with the same amendment that we provided in the subdivision servicing bylaw. And then second to that, it's come to our attention that we should amend one of our definitions in our bylaw. We were advised that we should update that definition as it may contravene our obligations as a registered firm holding a permit to practice under the Professional Governance Act. So with that in mind, the previous definition of engineer referred to the engineer as being the person holding the position of general manager. So we have amended the bylaw to replace engineer with general manager, because for all purposes of the bylaw, the provisions don't necessarily speak to a professional engineer.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I will then ask for a motion for first, second, and third readings of Sunshine Coast Regional District Water Rates and Regulations Amendment Bylaw number 422.46 of 2024. Director Toth, yes. Director McMahon, no further discussions, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. So I then will be looking for a motion for adoption of Sunshine Coast Regional District Water Rates and Regulations Amendment Bylaw number 422.46 of 2024. Can I have a motion? Director Toth and Director Stamford. Thank you. Any further discussions? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? None opposed? That passes. So we'll move on to Annex I, which is Community Recreation Facilities Fees and Charges Bylaw number 766 of 2024. This one's already been seen at committee and it's been discussed. So I would be looking for a motion for first, second, and third readings of Community Recreation Facilities Fees and Charges Bylaw number 766 of 2024. Can I say Director Bax, seconded by Director McMahon. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? That passes. We're on to Annex J, which is the Pender Harbor Aquatic and Fitness Center Fees and Charges Bylaw number 767 of 2024, and I'd like a motion for first, second, and third readings of that bylaw. Director Toth, anybody seconding that? Yes. Director Gabius, thank you. Any discussions? I'll hold the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That passes. We're now on to New business. Is there any new business anybody would like to discuss? I thought there was, but I guess there isn't. No, no. Okay, so let's see where we are here. Got to flip the page. I believe we're going to go in camera, that the public be excluded from attendance at the meeting in accordance with section 91A, C, K, and J of the Community Charter. Can I have a motion to go in camera? Director Beck, seconded Director McMahon. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, let's just take a minute while we go in camera.
Any questions for Connie?
Okay, let's see here.
Want to give Connie the opportunity to...
Yeah, I was just going to check she's in.
You don't worry about running the meeting, okay?
Connie, you're here. Do you
Thank
have
you,
a
Chair
question?
Lee. I just wanted to say that I had no questions, but I guess I should have stayed silent. Thank you.
Well, at least we know we appreciate you being here and listening with us. Thank you. Okay. Now Good afternoon, and welcome back to the regular board meeting of the Sunshine Coast Regional District, meeting of Thursday, May 9th, 2024. I would like a motion to adjourn the meeting, please. Director Bax and Director Toth. All those in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? No? Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.